Hey everyone, Skull902 back here again for my Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country. This is part 2. We're about to enter Winky's Walkway, and I guess that's one thing I can talk about is the animal buddies, because I didn't really go into too much detail. I just said that they're a little more varied than Yoshi in part 1. So with this one, I don't remember if we met him in part 1, but this is Winky. Winky is a frog, as you can see. Bounces really high and whatnot. We also saw Rambi the Rhino, who can charge and break down, I'm gonna say walls, in order to find bonus rooms, and is pretty much unstoppable when it comes to the enemies. And that's actually something that can be said about most of the animal buddies, is they are extremely good for taking out enemies, because there are some enemies like Zinners, for example, which we'll definitely be seeing more of. You know, the Zingers can't be taken out by, regular Kongs. You can't jump on a Zinger. I believe regular Zinners, Zinners, they've committed a horrible Zin. Anyway, regular Zinner, I did it again. Regular Zingers, with a G, can be taken out with a barrel, and then red Zingers can only be taken out with TNT barrels, but it won't, at least it won't hurt at all if you jump on them with most of the animal buddies that are in this game. Red Zingers, again, only TNT barrels can take them down, so you can't quite kill them with Rambi or Winky or whatever, but you can at least, jump on them, infinitely and not get hurt. So that's pretty cool. I quite like that. So they're really good for that. The only one that can't take out enemies is Espresso, at least of the regular animal buddies that you get in more than one level. There's Squawks, who in this game is only in one level and is only good for a light. But animal buddies, good stuff. And that was Minecart Carnage, one of the most notoriously difficult levels in the game. The minecart levels are really nothing to mess around with, and that speaks for any of them in the trilogy. They are quite bastardly, if I do say so myself. Lots of tight jumps and whatnot. They really test you there. Speaking of difficulty, I mentioned in the last part that level 1-5 was where the game stops fucking around, and that's really not the case. I'd say that's more World 3. What I really meant to say was that that was the first sort of increase in difficulty in the game, because it's trying to teach you timing with the barrels, so you gotta watch out for that, and everything. So a bit of a mistake on my end. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But no, the game really stops messing around when it gets to World 3. So it's something to keep in mind. Here I made a big huge mistake. I can't roll the tire back, so unfortunately I can't really get the checkpoint barrel, which is really disappointing. But it's okay. Again, World 2 isn't really the point where the game starts fucking with you. I mean, it's got the minecart level, but whatever. And then World 1, of course, like I said, it's got the 5th level, which I'm not too good at remembering level names, but so there's some increases in difficulty here and there, but the game doesn't really start getting fairly challenging until World 3. Now, something about the bonus rooms that I can mention is that for 101% completion, which is the highest it goes, I don't know, I guess they just wanted to be different by saying it's 101. But by going for completion in this game, it's a bit different than the other Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo. Instead of having to win a challenge, you just have to find the rooms. So technically that makes getting the, complete save file a bit less of a bitch to do. For instance, I could just fall right down without getting any of these bananas and it'd be absolutely fine. Like, it would count towards my percentage and whatnot. In 2 and 3 they changed that. So I guess if you want to go for completion, that's something you can definitely do. Stop and Go Station. This introduces the Rock Croc enemy, and the Rock Crocs are quite intimidating. They're crazy motherfuckers. They are completely invulnerable, depending on the circumstances. Because in the Japanese version of the game, as well as the Game Boy Advance port, when they're sleeping, they can actually be defeated with Donkey Kong's hand slap move, where like he slams on the ground with his hands. I didn't know about that until recently. That's really interesting and weird. That's like the only way that they can be defeated. It's such a not really all that much used move. Seldomly used. That's the term I wanted to go for. It's a very seldom used move. So I guess for those who know, then hey, if you're playing the Japanese version or the Game Boy Advance version, there you go. Otherwise, there's no way to deal with them aside from telling them to go to sleep by hitting a stop barrel. So, it's crazy. Especially during these last parts, because the barrels don't last for as long. And, just fortunately, I had Diddy there, and things are swell. But that level can be a bitch, and I can definitely see why. There's a shortcut in that level. In fact, there's a shortcut in many levels. But the one in Stop and Go Station I find pretty hilarious, because there's like a door that you go through at the beginning, and if you backtrack and go through that door, it'll just drop you in front of the exit, and you can leave. I may show the exits off in an extra video. We'll see where that goes, but yeah. Brand new aesthetic here. This is the temple levels. Gonna be getting a few of these here and there throughout this world, and at least one of the others. It's probably one of my favorite looks in the game, actually. Nothing wrong with the classic jungle aesthetic, but this is a bit different, and you'll be seeing definitely later on as well. There are far too many fucking cave levels. Like, they really liked using the caves. And the mines as well. Not quite sure why that is, but that's just the case. But with Millstone Mayhem here, I believe at some point you're going to be chased around by one of these naughties here in these big old wheels. And check out this timing, too. I didn't mean to have the tire there. But bam. And now we got Winky. So it's got a little bit of Indiana Jones vibe, what with the temple and the chase sequence near the end. I believe this is the level anyway, that happens. I forgot to mention some of the other animal buddies, so I'm gonna go do that now. There's also Ungard the swordfish that we saw. back in part 1. Definitely super useful because Rambi has this too. But like, you know, the charge attack, I guess you can say. I guess this isn't the one where you're being chased. Oh well, sorry. The charge attack. Well, the charges are a thing introduced in DKC too. But what I mean is like, you press the attack button, and Ungard will like, you know, thrust forward. And I know that's the worst possible way I could have put that. And Rambi will like stick his horn up. I am not doing this intentionally. But like when they're around an enemy, they'll actually do that automatically, which is a really cool thing about you know, Ungard and Rambi. They're definitely the two best, in my opinion, of all the animal buddies. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess, if you're going around in this game. And here's the boss of this world, Master Neki. Basically, you just gotta, you know, jump on the tire and wait for a good opportunity. Avoid his nuts. I swear I'm not doing these intentionally. But he's pretty easy to take care of. Master Neki Sr., however, oof. But he's not for a while. Next time, we'll be going to Vulture Culture in World 3. I've been Skull902. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.